We are live here at SRL 360 headquarters, and I am joined here with Lachlan Martin, the SRL Commissioner. How are you going tonight, man?
Yeah, I'm going good. Got a big week of SRL ahead of us. We had a big week last week to kick off the season. Now I've got another one to go through.
Yeah, it's been a huge week. Obviously, we've moved to Fridays now as the games aren't live anymore. But yeah, so it's a bit of a change of scenery and all. But yeah, so the first game of the week we had was, I'm pretty sure it was, pretty sure it was was it Canberra Broncos?
Yeah, Canberra Broncos kicked us off.
Give us a bit of a rundown on what happened there.
Yeah, so it was a bit of an interesting match. Obviously, the Broncos had all the ball early, but the Raiders just sort of won those little moments, and it was a very good performance by the Raiders, and Broncos lose another game. We haven't really talked about the Broncos yet, but their season has not started well, especially what happened in the trials. Yeah. It's been interesting to see. The Broncos, 28-14, wasn't the worst scoreline, all things considered. We'll get into that team later. They made some changes throughout the week, but the versus the team we flogged them 58-12, was it?
I think it was something like that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, 58-12 next week, which will be interesting to see. Yeah. That's all I have to say on the game. I think it was interesting because the Broncos felt like they were on top in the first half, but the Raiders sort of just won over little moments, didn't they? Sort of just led to what Raiders just slowly just getting on top of the game. Towards eventually them running away with it, and yeah.
And hello, Butters. How are you, mate?
Hey, sorry. Just had a little thing that I needed to do. I see we're talking about the Brisbane Raiders game.
Yeah, you didn't miss much.
Yeah, it was for me, it was kind of disappointing for the Broncos. I kind of expected them to put up a bigger fight against this Raiders team. I do think this Raiders team is really strong, though. You can see that from the 188 tackles they made and the 32 line breaks. I also thought that their completion rate was excellent. They only made 5 errors and 1 penalty compared to the Broncos, who led in 10 errors and 3 penalties. I thought that was really poor. I also think Levi needs to convert his goals when he can. It wasn't really a problem in this game because the Raiders just outscored them, but having only a 33% kicking rate isn't great, don't you think?
Oh, I think it isn't great, but I think it was something that we will get into. The Broncos did take the goal kicking off Levi Raymond, and there's been a bit of controversy again around to the Broncos camp, which Levi was promised the goal kicking duties again for the whole season. That was one of the reasons he stayed, and they took it off him. So I don't think Levi's too impressed about that.
Wow.
Yeah, well, you have a look at the Broncos right now. And you mentioned that you expect them to be a bit more. To be honest, I disagree with that. I think the Broncos did, all things considered, coming off, 58-6 thrashing with pretty much their full strength side against a very strong Raiders side to only lose by 14.
I forgot.
I think the Broncos, we'll get into their team list in a moment. I think they've panicked a bit when they've gone and made some changes that weren't really necessary at this stage of the season. That's just my thoughts, at least.
Yeah. I definitely think that the combinations will grow because they have, what is it, like half a team new, well, not new, but returning to this club. And so they've got to take their time just to kind of fit in. And I don't know if at the moment I see them really like making finals and stuff, but they'll be close, I think.
I think something that's shown, though, we can already see from the first game is I don't think the two very strong wingers is viable. I think it takes up your salary cap, and look at how weak their forwards are. Like, I just don't think it's viable to have the kind of depth they have in the outside backs. It just hurts them weak. It makes them really weak in the forwards, and don't like it.
Who's their other gold winger?
Well, it's not really a
Joey
gold.
Kelly's
It's a
gone.
gold and a
Yeah,
silver.
they've got Joey Kelly and Luka Moscow
Is-
there currently.
Is Luka a gold?
I think I don't know if he's a gold, but he's definitely one of their wingers. He's definitely one of their wingers. He's not gold necessarily. I think he's silver. I know Joey's gold. I think he's silver though. What I will say about the Broncos though is a lot of people had the Raiders and Manly to be top two, but you would put them on. Obviously, I think Manly's definitely above the Raiders at the moment, but you'd probably put them on roughly the same level. They've went from losing 58-12 to only by 14 points. To be fair, in 1 week, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah,
All things considered.
They definitely did improve a lot, and I don't think that team is quite up there to kind of rival Manly and Raiders at the moment. I don't think.
I think in fairness,
even making changes.
I think in fairness, yeah, you go, Butters.
Oh no, sorry.
No, all right. I think in fairness, though, I think that the Raiders team is not Manly. They are not. I still don't think they're at the Manly level. I think we're disrespecting Manly a bit. So I think it is good for them to come down to that, but I just don't think the Raiders are as good yet as Manly.
Oh, look, I think you look at it this way, right? And I think this shows how much the Broncos' defense did improve this week, right? Look at their first 3 tries, right? They went half. I'm not sure what the score was. Might have been 16-8 or 16-4 at some for the halftime. Can't entirely remember. But I remember 3 tries in the first half by the Raiders, right? The first one, a kick return and try. Ian stepped one, player was in space. Scored a 100-meter try. Second one, I think it might have been Corey Bell. Let me just check that if it was Corey.
A kick return,
Corey
100
Bell.
meters.
Kick return, Corey Bell. Step one player went 75 meters, scored. Right? Not much they can do about that, the Broncos. The third try, intercept try. I think it might have been Levi Raymond, threw a pass, a wild pass, intercepted by Sabbath Tua, score. 3 tries the Broncos conceded were off the back of not consistent pressure against them. It was a back of just they started all 3 of those tries. They played the ball to begin that play, and it ended up going against them.
I guess you're right.
If you take those 3 tries out, Broncos win that game, but they just lost those moments.
Yeah, you're right there. I mean, yeah, I think they have improved a bit, and I think we'll get onto it. It definitely was a bit panicked of those changes.
Yeah, I think we'll get more onto that later because that's a whole other thing we have to talk about with the Broncos. We're not done with you yet, Broncos. You're not accepting Hook yet. We're not done with you yet. We'll get on you guys later. Should we move on to the next game?
Yeah, I believe it was Rabbitohs Penrith.
Oh, this was a bit awkward. We all played in that game.
We don't have Tim here to divide it up.
We don't.
Yeah.
It was a great game.
I actually think in terms of defense, played out their skin for about 65 minutes. No, I'd say it's about 75 minutes, minus the 5-minute period where they got 2 tries to Rabbitohs. For 75 minutes, Penrith's defense was outstanding on our line. We did not deserve to still be in that game in the 65th minute when it was 6-0. Or might have been 16th minute and it was still 6-0.
Your defense improved tremendously. You made like 6 more than we did.
It was very good line.
Yeah, 222 tackles for the Panthers, 159 for the Rabbitohs. That's an insane. I think the reason Penrith were never in that game was we made 11 errors. It felt like we made more than that. I'm actually surprised it was only 11. I felt like we made close to 20 actually, but I think in terms of the fact that, Penrith, we just never gave ourselves an opportunity to get into the game with all the errors we made.
Yeah. Look, I don't know if it was necessarily the errors. I don't think your attack was really kicked into gear until about the 50th.
When Jackson Allison I think when Jackson Allison got Simon, we sort of did a bit more of the ball, but it was already too late. It was already too late by that point. We just couldn't do anything with it.
I think
I don't. Yeah.
You got Butters. I think that the the Panthers' defense line speed was outstanding. It really pressured us. Thinking back on it, I wasn't very impressed with us on Tuesday, but thinking back on it, it was the Penrith defense that made us not really have any time to pass the ball out. Like on our line, every single time we tried to do a play, it was just the first player got absolutely hit before they could pass the ball. It was just like we didn't have much opportunity to do much, but I do think at times we were quite flat with the ball. I don't think we'd thrown a lot at them some sets, and I think it on those to get better, we need to get the ball released quicker because the good sides always have a good line speed. I think it's as simple as that. Need to learn how to get rid of the ball quicker. Simple as that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I also think, personally, my kicking game. I told you this. My kicking game was poor. It was poor. I kicked 140-20, and that was about it. Other than that, it was poor. And that's something I'll definitely be working on. I think Carl had some great kicking. 3 kicks for 134 meters. That's a big boot. And he kicked the 40-20. I think he played very well that game. And I think he deserved the 2 MVP points more, really.
Yeah, he probably did. But
yeah, look, I think I do agree with you. I think you'll kick it. To be honest, I actually think as a whole, there wasn't as many kicks as we're pretty used to in the MS in that game. I do think as a whole, Jack Carl, his kicking was on a sort of dime that game. I think his kicking was very good. I think you'd be a bit tough with yourself there, but I thought your kicking was also pretty decent in that game. I will say I think Carl probably had a little bit more in it, but I don't think it was much at all. I think your kicking was still pretty decent. It kept us down in our own end for most of the game.
Yeah.
I think in terms of attack, I think the issue was probably the outside backs of the Rabbitohs. To be honest, you got Josh Saddlecard 86 meters, Jai Collins 25, Tyron Clay 29. I think Penrith did a great job. Our outside defenders of just jamming in and making sure those wingers can't get any meters. I'm not sure. And Chase Williams, the other set of 3 meters.
Yeah,
Chase Williams did absolutely nothing, and I hate saying this to a rookie, but I think it's going to take time. I think it is going to take time with Chase Williams, and I think the reason that Tyrone Clay was so quiet was he got 1 kick return. That's his best aspect of his game. Penrith just did not kick to him all night, and we're trying. I think it's just smart from Penrith to kick the Saddle Cart, knowing he's not as developed yet. But I think Saddle Cart will develop as the season goes on, but needs to work on his steps. That's all it is.
Also, I think we're going to be a little tough in this next game. We're losing both our starting lock and one of our best forwards.
It
Jackson
was
Allison.
don't get me started. That was so unlucky to lose just 2 first choice locks. Like I'd pick if one of them he went down, I'd pick Allison to go to lock. Because he's the most versatile in our pack. He's the quickest forward in our pack, and he can, apart from O'Keefe, so you can really move him around to any place in the forward pack. But since he got sin binned, we now have to play Drenigan, and it's kind of like, okay, where do we go from here? Because it's like Drenigan probably wouldn't. I don't like having to play Drenigan 65 minutes. But it is what it is. Because I don't know.
Reveal something about Drenigan. He's given a chance to start. He might put up a good performance because, look, it's not the greatest situation for us to be in, but it could reveal some real character from 2 of our bench forwards to having to play and starting, really.
Yeah, it's going to test them. And I think Drake Drenigan's shown that he can play lock before, and I think he can definitely step up to those shoes, and if he does well, then maybe maybe he gets an expanded role. I don't think he earns a starting spot. I just think there's too much room in the pack, and he doesn't have that prop. So I just don't think he moves. But yeah, I think he's got the versatility to really move anywhere. He's started in a couple games, so actually he probably
Definitely.
yeah, I don't know. Jennings played pretty good to stay his whole career. He'll just run the ball hard and take those hit ups. And he won't do anything more than run hard, tackle hard. That's all he'll do.
So who's the prop also coming on for Allison? Oh no, we'll do that.
We'll do that. I think we'll get to the team list when we go to the games for this round.
Yep. All right, so let's go to the next game. All right, the next game was Warriors Eels, was it?
Yeah, it was the next game.
Yeah, Warriors Eels. Now, I didn't watch this game. Did you boys watch this game?
Yeah, well, I did. I thought this game was interesting. You know, the Eels, they actually got up to a really fast start. Scoring the first 2 tries, got to a handy 10-0 lead in the opening 12 minutes. But from that point onwards, they only managed to score 1 try and were outscored 36-6. And they just were blown off the park.
That's poor. That's really poor.
And I think their run meters, even when you look at some of their forwards, you know, I think about Downey, he played out of his skin. Is he a rookie? I believe he's a rookie, correct?
No, I think it's his second season.
Second season, okay, my bad then. Sorry about that. But Matt Downey, 150 run meters. He was outstanding. But other than that, Anthony McDonald ran for 105 meters in about 31 minutes. Other than that, you had Tilasedag 93. Luke Short ran for just 55 meters.
Yeah,
that's poor from a senior.
Not something you'd like to see from your captain. Alistair Russell just 52, and then they had another one of their rookies only run for 29. The Warriors just suffocated their forward pack, and they were not able to gain any momentum. And you look at the Warriors forward pack. You know, you had David Barner 143, Logan Strange 135 meters. LeBron Ball on his debut 125 meters in just 39 minutes. They just absolutely suffocated that Eels forward pack from about the 12th minute onwards.
Also, one of the men who are probably in the running for SimVP always is Chance Bunce. Oh my god, what a game!
Yeah, he was on another level.
Run meters, 7 line breaks, 2 tries. That is, and a try assist, bro. That is outstanding. That's almost Eli Barnes level back in season 2 when he would put in a good performance. That's outstanding.
Yeah, Chance Bunce, he is something else at the moment. I'd have to say, in my opinion, I think he's the best player in the game at the moment.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
He's on a whole other level at the moment. I think if you look at all the teams throughout the competition, I think he's the one player that can genuinely carry a team to a final series.
Yeah.
I don't think he had as strong of a team last season as he does this season. I genuinely could see here. I think he will. I think he will lead the Warriors to a final series this year. First final series since they were runners-up back in season 1. I think that they've got it in them this season.
Yeah. Look, he was involved in 3 tries, made one of the highest had one of the highest tackle counts in the team. He just puts everything on the line for his team. He loves his team.
Yeah, I think he looks even crazy. He only had, out of the 345 run meters he had 15 runs. That's not a lot considering how many meters he ran for. I actually want to see how much that would average out per run.
That would be a lot. I know
23 meters per run.
Jesus Christ.
That's pretty good. That's pretty much that's close to a quarter of the field per run.
I know for myself, looking at my stats, I ran for 194 meters with 17 runs. That's 2 more runs, and I got like 150 less meters. That just speaks to Chance Bunce's quality.
I will say one thing though. I'm worried about the Warriors' kicking game.
You are?
Yeah, I have to agree with you. They didn't have one play clock over 100 kick meters. I think
they only did
I think the reason it is though, and I'll put this to the ground. I think both Corcoran and McCartney I think McCartney's more of a short, has better short, has actually a really nice short kicking game, and is more of a runner. And I think Josh Corcoran's also more of a runner, which could be an issue if they come late in the season when they come versus up those big games. You know, you have the Cowboys, Seagulls, who their biggest weakness is kicking the corners. That's the only way you're going to ever defeat those teams. But I think for now, they didn't really need to kick their way out of trouble that game. They sort of just had to run the ball really well, which both of them did. Took in the line, and I really like to see that.
100% agree with you.
I don't know. I think that I don't know. I think to beat the top sides, it's really tough, especially Manly. Have you seen how hard it is to crack their line? You have to be so creative to crack it. Like it's just like whenever you get down, and she was shown by the grand final last season. The Rabbitohs had so much early possession, yet couldn't score. Like that's simple. There wasn't any way through, and Manly's defense is just too good. They hold you down in tackles, win the ruck speed. Simple as that. Control everything.
Yeah, look, I'll get more into Manly later because it's going to be interesting with how to defeat Manly because at the moment they do seem unbeatable, but you know they did go to. I will point out, I believe they went to Golden Point twice last season. Am I correct in saying that?
They did, yeah. At one point, they
might have got the Golden Point. They might have had a trying Golden Point and then a 1 point win just before the buzz up. That might have actually been it.
Oh yeah, I remember that game. It was the Eels almost beat them. They bloody had a.
And then the Raiders almost beat them. 2 bottom 4 sides. So
the Eels almost beat them. I felt sorry from Tim James to a short side, which was a forward pass, and they probably would have won if it wasn't forward. They probably would have took a field goal and won. There was like a minute left, and then Manly went down and scored, or something. It was sad.
It'll have to be interesting to see. I think we'll get onto that a bit more later, but I want to know, where does improvement come from the Eels? Because at the moment, it's a pretty blim game. I know they only lost by 20, which in the grand schemes of things, not the worst performance, but being realistic here, after the 12th minute onwards was 36-6. Where does improvement come from the Eels?
I mean, the only thing that I can say that improvement comes from is they are a rookie team. They have like 7 rookies. Improvement can come from rookies. We saw how season 2 evolved, but in saying that, season 2 Manly that was only one season a bit in, so it wasn't like they are 3 seasons behind the rest. So maybe it is a bit of more of a. I think it is a bit harder for them to catch up. So I don't think there's much improvement this season. They're really going to struggle. I hate to say it, but they're just going to struggle throughout the season. I just don't know where the improvement comes from. They have 7 or 8 rookies. It's just like, well, they're going to be a step behind the rest of the pack, and they have like 2 golds. It's not going to be very good for them this season. Their forward pack is the weakest I've ever seen. Weakest I've ever seen in the SRL.
What I will say on that note, though, however, is Blake Harris had one of the best games I've ever seen from a debutant. Especially the fact he lost the game. 118 run meters, 11 tackles, no misses, 192 kick meters, 1 try assist, 1 try. And that try assist was something else. It was a beautiful pass taken on the line there to get one of those. I think it might have been, just trying to remember who it was. Might have been Cherry Evans going onto ball. Might have been Mendonca. It was one of those 2. Those are the only top 2 try scorers in their team. But I think he's someone that people have to look out for in the Seals side because he's probably going to at some point struggle this year with how weak their forward pack is. Let's be realistic here. But I'm telling you, do not give him hope on this kid. He is someone that can light this game on fire.
Yeah, Blake Harris showed some real promise. I will say that.
Yeah.
Shall we get on the next game?
Next game?
Yeah. Let's go to Manly Cowboys. What are our thoughts on this game?
I think this is just how dominant Manly are going to be.
Yeah. Oh, look, it wasn't. I don't think it was.
Oh, but Butters, did you see how much possession? In the first half, I remember watching the end of the first half. They They had so much ball, but they just couldn't score. Simple as that. You can't score against this Manly defense. Apparently, from what I heard, is this correct, Lachlan? But apparently from what I heard, there was so much possession to the Cowboys in the first half, but they just couldn't capitalize.
I wouldn't say there was a ton of possession. I would say maybe slightly more to the Cowboys, but then again, it ended up being 58% possession in favour of Manly first half. They just suddenly in the second half got the team organised, they got everyone ready, and then they scored, 4 second half tries and won the game.
Yeah.
It was just that easy. They just stepped out of it in one half break. One break, and they stepped out of it and they'll suddenly organised in the second half. It was crazy.
Chaz Dingo, I thought, was quite good in the halves. He's shown his way that he can move. He's very versatile. Had a try assist, 194 kick meters. Didn't really have much of a running game, though. Maybe that's something that doesn't really the edge at 5. But inside that, Kane Chapman-Kenny at fullback gives them a slight edge to me. I think it's a little bit more quiet on the wing, so I think that's probably why they stick with it for the foreseeable future.
I think they have to stick with it. At first, I was very critical of this because I was like, why are you doing this? Dingo is literally probably the best fullback in the comp at the time. Was very close to the best player. Chapman-Kenny is close to the best winger. And then they switch it, but I think it's working for them. And now Dingo and KCK probably have one of the best combinations in the comp. Probably do have the best combination in the comp. You know, last week in the trial match, KCK was scoring tries for fun. This week, against the much tougher opponent, still managed to set up a try and score his own try. While running for 192 run meters and 6 line breaks. You know, for fullback numbers it's average, but, you know, KCK was still doing so much in attack. Well, Dingo, 194 kick meters, 1 try assist, 1 try 2. It's just...
Did Dingo score?
Mainly it's just something else. He did score, yeah.
I didn't... Oh, there you go. He did score. Wow, that's... Manly's stars are just clicking at the moment, and I think it's just going to be very, very hard to stop. This forward pack, they're so much quicker than everyone else. It's ridiculous. Like, you look at... I look at South's pack, not being... I don't want to be harsh on anyone else. But when you look at South's, my own team's pack, we have... I think there's about 3 or 4 of us that have 50 speed. And then you look at Manly, who have probably like 3 or 4 that have max 80 speed. That is so much of an advantage to them. And then we're just sitting behind, and I think it just makes so much of a difference.
Yeah, well, you look inside that forward pack, again, you know, Jesse Bennett, 184 run meters. Matt Harris, 203. Brad Goodwin, 145. Who else do they have? They have a few others that ran for really, really strong meters. I'm just trying to find them.
Daniel Punch.
Those are the main ones. Daniel Punch, 128.
Jesse Bennett, 184. Goodwin, 145, you know.
It's crazy. It's actually crazy. I don't know.
And then Vaughan,
I do have look. I'll talk about this. We'll talk about Manly's game of the week because I do have a way that Manly can be stopped, but you'd still have to be playing out of your skin and have to hope Manly are off their game that day because otherwise it's going to be very hard.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah.
It's gonna be so hard for any team to beat Manly. And again, we haven't talked about the Cowboys yet. You know, the Cowboys, they were off their game today. You know, they actually did really well last time they versed Manly. They only lost by 6 points, was it, in the finals last year?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Whatever it was, I will say this, they have to build off the back of what this man called Callum Irwin does. He has to be, in my opinion, one of the most underrated players in the comp and one of the best forwards in the comp. In the trial match, he ran for 202 run meters. This game he ran for 160 meters in a losing side. He led that forward pack, but they just didn't do anything with the back of him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at the end of the day, that was what caused Manly's Cowboys' downfall. They just didn't do anything with the back of him.
Yeah, look, I think it's also on the halves. Look, they didn't really help out the forward pack, in my opinion. The whole point of the halves is to get get your team up to get your team from about the 30 to the 50 in the last two plays, and then get a good kickoff. And I just don't think the Cowboys did it. They had 4 people kicking, and it barely reached probably 200 kick meters total. That is extremely poor.
You have to disagree with you. I can guarantee Rohan Kaval, Damon Moana were two of the best halves last season, but this wasn't the way they wanted to start the season. 2 errors from each of them, and they both kicked around 70 meters. They needed to be better than that to get even a dent in the Seagull side.
Definitely, yeah.
Do you boys want to move to the team's dramas?
Team dramas.
Yeah, a few dramas this week.
Fair enough. We'll go to that then.
The first drama we have is glancing through. It's the very first thing I see on the team. No, it's not actually. Well, the Warriors, they've made basically no changes. It was Liam Rogers at centre last week.
What was this? Sorry, I missed that.
Was Liam Rogers at centre last week?
I don't believe he was.
That's a bit odd then.
He's played a bit of centre, Liam Rogers. He hasn't done a horrible job. I think it's a defensive decision for him to be defensively strong. I find it interesting to move LeBron Ball to second row. But yeah, that's
the Broncos. They've had quite a few changes. Justin Plays moves to fullback. They've got Mark Iron moving into the centres. Herman moving into 5'8". Simon Hunt moves back to the starting lineup. Jason Farah, second row. I don't know if he was there last week. Redo Lock. Spillane. I think Spillane.
I believe that's it.
Lillard moves to the bench. I remember Lillard started last week, I think. Yeah, but
this is boy Broncos. Oh boy. Look. Sam Herbert's been your best attacking player over the try. He scored both your tries against the Seagulls. Only one created anything for you against the Seagulls game. And last week, he was also probably one of your better players. And at the beginning of the season, I had said, I think, Herbert, you go 5'8", because I think he did a really good, and I'll stay by this. I think he played really good when he had his chance at 5'8", with Mark Iron fullback. But after what he's done over the opening round, I disagree with that now, and I think he should. Yeah, you have to keep him fullback. Yeah.
Yeah. They were just really untalented, in my opinion. They versed a team that was better. There's no other way to say it. The Raiders were just better than them in the game, and I think they put up a really strong performance. I don't think there was really any need to make drastic changes like they did.
So I've got a bit of insight from the Broncos HQ on why they've made these changes. Apparently, these are some reasons towards the changes. Our attack was clunky and lack of creativity when we entered the Raiders' territory. Raiders 10 to 20 meter line. There was so much one outs hit up. They thought it was difficult to break through Canberra. They believe that the moments through the second half, they failed to take opportunities. The reason he moves to fullback is because so he can help bark orders for the side in offense and defense. The forward pack changes. Simon Hunt was Simbin, so he couldn't start last week. So they're finally excited to have him back in the starting 13, and they think they've done the best in picking a good forward pack that can match the Eagles. That's apparently the reasons towards the changes.
Look, I hear him, but I completely disagree.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah,
I don't think moving Justin Plays to fullback is in any way a good move. I think what's his face? Yeah, Herbin is a much better fullback than he is a 5'8", and through that you're just taking off. Who they
moved Mark Iron to put in the same.
No, far out. Move. That is. No.
I don't think. Look, Mark Iron in this sentence is the problem I have. He hasn't been. He's been all. Look, I'll give it to him. He's kind of impressed me at the 5'8" since we moved to the Broncos. But I don't think that's the main issue. I think the main issue is moving Herman from fullback.
Definitely.
Yeah,
he's 100%. Too good to not have him in the best position possible because he's just been dominant there.
Especially close to the line. Like, he is one of the hardest players to stop near the line. Don't even get me if you go Sam Herman right to the line, I've seen a few times on separate occasions, the Broncos go short little inside ball, like 2 meters out from the line, Sam Herman on the inside. He is impossible to stop with that little step from there. Like, it's ridiculous because at the pace he runs and how small he is, he can just change direction.
Yeah.
And he's just in. It's just they don't have that when he's at 5'8" because he can't step when he's at 5'8". It's just a thing that Barlow 4 doesn't facilitate.
It's really, I don't want to like question himself, but it's a really poor move as a captain to do that, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it's. I don't want to really like question his integrity, but I think it's more of he wants to play fullback and he's seen an opportunity to play fullback rather than playing what is the best possible team for Brisbane.
Yes, I mean, and he also took goal kicking duties off Levi Raymond, which I think really opens up the door for him to leave because he's not. I think he 100% wants those goal kicking duties. I think he could be out the door in the trade window. To be honest, I think he could be. It's just if teams are willing to give enough for him in the trade window, because I don't think the Broncos will go as ease.
No.
He's too good of a player.
Yeah. In my opinion, he'll be gone until. By the end. By the start of next season, he'll be gone.
Yeah, I agree. If it continues this way, if they can somehow resolve it, which I can't see it happening, he's had issues with the Broncos since the new captaincy in season 3. I think there's a few players that may want to leave by the trade window. So they may not be a way out for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the next team lists we've got is Okay, let me just run through the team lists. The Cowboys, they moved Tyler Amatengi back to fullback. That's a bit odd considering they started with TTR Maxwell and have moved back to Amatengi. I didn't really notice Maxwell. Was Maxwell bad by any means?
I don't think he was. I just think Amatengi's just better. Look, we saw him last year. He's just he's probably top level in terms of if we're ranking top 4 fullbacks. He's probably top 3, in my opinion. He is, on his good day, an amazing fullback.
Oh, I think
And
he's
I
probably
think-
top 5.
Look, I
That's
think
up
there was
there.
a moment last season where he was probably considered to be the favourite for this MVP. I think after the first 2 or 3 rounds, in between that break between the Origin period, I think at that point he was definitely favourite to win it. But in my opinion, I'm sure I would guarantee the Cowboys and the Tank would agree with this. He had a bit of an off end to the season.
Yeah, definitely did.
By no means wasn't necessarily bad, but I think compared to fullbacks, I'd probably have him at the moment. I think you'd have. There's obviously the throwers. I think you'd have Bunsey, you'd have KCK, you'd have Brody Kennedy, you'd have yourself, Liam, Eli Barnes.
That's already 5.
I don't know if you'd have him in front of any of them. Sam Herbert, I'd throw in the mix too. I think Tyler Amatang had a couple of good games, but I'm not even. That's my problem with the move is, right? I don't see the point of playing Terry Maxwell there for one game to open the season, just to move him back to the wing after one round.
I get that.
That's the only scrap.
That's
the only scrap. Other than that, if they named teams like this, I'd have no problems. I would not even mention it because Amatang, he's still a quality fullback. But I just don't see the reason to play Tim Maxwell there one game at fullback. I don't think he's been necessarily bad. He definitely wasn't awful. I think he's been pretty decent, to be fair. I don't see the reason why you play him there one game just to
move him back.
Well, it could have been part of the contract deal. I know there was one for us, wasn't there, with Tyler?
Yeah, but they could have done that in the trials, couldn't they?
They could have done that in the trials.
I don't think Amatangi played fullback in the trials, did he?
No, Terry Maxwell played fullback in the trials.
Oh, he did.
And even if it was, here's my opinion, right? Even if it was, and you did it dream, even if it was a contract thing, I don't understand the reason you do it round 1.
Oh yeah,
against Manly, round 1 against Manly, not just round 1, but against Manly. If that was the case,
you'd play him against the bottom side.
Not necessarily against the bottom side. I feel like it's a bit odd to do it round 1. Specifically round 1. And then obviously against Manly is even tougher.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
I don't mind doing round 1 because if you do it in round 1, then you've got another 5, 5 or 4 rounds. I'm tripping. You're not interrupting the team's flow. Like if you do it, you start let's say you do it 3rd week, you have 2 weeks where you have one fullback, then another week where you have another fullback, and then you go back to the same fullback. It kind of disrupts the flow. Yeah. But having it at the very start, you've got the rest of the season plus the off season to kind of keep that flow.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I don't know. I feel like, in my opinion, you always want to get off to a good start. And I feel like I don't know. It just feels kind of tougher to do that if you're playing a player who you have no intention to play in that position from any other round apart from round 1.
Yeah, fair enough. So we'll move on to the next team list. Parramatta, don't think they've made any changes this week.
Jordan Marshall started. I don't think he was starting to look last week, was he?
You're right. Yep.
Alistair Russell was there. Our rookie for rookie. That's interesting because that's actually very interesting because
I don't see why they just moved Luke Short. I don't see why they don't have Luke Short there. Play him 65 minutes, hard working lock. I just don't see why and it would mean that he's only going to play 40 minutes instead of 65. He's their best forward. I don't see a point in that. But
I just
don't have a huge concern, but it's not really anything.
The question is, though, who do they play at prop if Luke Shaw goes on the bench? Goes on lock, sorry.
Can Marshall or Russell play prop?
Probably, mate. Oh, I think they can, but
McDonald can. McDonald had a very good stint last week.
It's a really hard job to make this forward pack with the fact that they have so many rookies in their side.
Right.
And yeah, it's really, really tough for him. I feel honestly, I feel for the Eagles at the moment. I feel for especially Luke Short. He is such a tough gig. Being the captain of such a young side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision to swap Alistair Russell and Jordan Marshall. I don't know if Alistair Russell was necessarily bad enough where he deserves to be dropped like that, but it's not a massive change. It's just interesting, I think. No, I don't have anything else to say on it.
Yeah, I think you could maybe go McDonald starting at prop because he had a really good stint last week, I thought. And then you move Short to lock, Marshall to the bench. It's better. I think that's probably a little bit better. But moving on to Penrith, you have you made any changes? Marcus?
We have
Marcus moves to lock. You move to the bench.
due to injury.
Yeah.
We've moved Fisher to the centres and Edwards to the wing.
And
we've swapped Ash to 5'8".
Whoa.
Back.
Oh, okay, wrong Edwards. Never mind. But I thought you were moving Isaac to wing for a second, and
he
I was
can't
like,
play
what?
wing.
He
Yeah,
can't
that's what I
play
was going to
wing.
say.
Yeah, so I thought I said Marshall. Yeah, Fisher to the centres and Marshall to the wing.
Okay, sorry, no, I misheard you. Sorry,
Nah, he said
that's on me, bro.
Edwards.
Oh, I thought I might have said Marshall. Never mind. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've done. So I've swapped the halves around. I've moved Fisher to the centres, Edwards to the wing. That's about it.
Yeah, I like that.
It's fair enough, and I do like it too.
You didn't need to make many changes. I thought you had a very good game.
Well, I did need to make one.
Well, yeah, he needed to make one, but
what was that needed? Oh, yeah, I get you when you say I needed to make one, which is just swapping me and Marcus around because I got injured. Sad face again.
oh, bro,
My fitness is horrible. My fitness is probably one of the worst in the comp. I get injured every time I play lock. It's so annoying. I've yet to play a full game at lock.
Or just stop playing lock.
Well, it's funny because I wasn't even playing lock when I got injured. I was playing second row. I started at lock and moved to second row, and I got injured in second row.
Well, let's move.
I guess actually the other change I've made, which I forgot to mention, was then Michael comes in for Tom and Mac because Tom and Mac is now. Oh no, he left the SRL server. He left the server, so.
Oh yeah.
Then Michael will be making his debut. But anyway, that's enough about Penrith, I think.
Alright,
Unless you guys want to say.
Wait, who left?
Tom and Mac.
Oh.
He left the server. He left the server. He was upgrading and they just left. I messaged I was like, oh. Anyways.
Alright, so we'll move on to the Rabbitohs team list. So we've made quite a few changes, if anyone's not aware. So we've moved Saddle, Carr, and Tyrone have swapped sides. Butterfield and Carl have swapped halves. So Carl moves to 6, Butters moves to 7. Dranigan moves to lock. Riff moves to start in second row. Davis starts. And then we've had to move O'Hare and Allison both to the bench due to force changes, and then the 16 and 17 stay the same. What are our thoughts on these changes?
What I'll say is, you guys have versus the Eels this week, right? If the Eels want to cause an upset all season, this is the game they're going to do. If you're having 2 of your best forwards on the bench due to injury.
Yeah, it's tough.
If the Eels want to cause an upset, it's going to be this week. I'm not saying I think that'll happen. I'm just saying if it's going to be any week, it's going to be this week.
Yeah, I think it is a good opportunity for them to cause an upset on us. But I think our backline needs to step up. And if it's any week that it can, I think it's this week. I think if Tyrone gets the ball off the kick returns like we're hoping from what we did from the kick, change them sides. I'm hoping it's just that they like kicking to the right side, and it's not that they just like kicking down to the worst winger. And if it's to the worst winger, then we're screwed all season. But if it's to the right side, then we can work around it. And I think Gilly is probably suited to the number 6 more than Butters is. I think the reason I think we've swapped you and Carl around is Butters. I think you are a better runner of the football, and from what I've seen so far, the number 7 likes to run more, which is suited more to you. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I was even calling for it, bro. Like, he's a better kicker. the Australian end. I think 6 kicks more than 7, and so
6 controls a short kicking game, 7 controls a long kicking game, I think.
Mm.
So you
Yeah, I
do a
think
good job at that. I think you do just fine at that. It's just a short kicking game that's crucial.
I actually really do rate the change to move Carl to the 6. I think it's definitely he has a very, very good kick on him. The other thing I will say is I don't know if moving now. Look, if you've done this because of the reason I would have done this for to keep the team chemistry in place, I understand that. But I would have, if I was playing a player at lock, I would have been loaning guys there.
I didn't even think about that. I just thought straight away, Dranigan's played lock in his career before. Why not give him another game there? He's not really it's just a straight swap, really. As you said, chemistry.
Yeah, well, I understand that's the reason, but I think Logan Guys could have done a good job at lock. But anyway,
I think Guys has got shown before that I think whenever he moves to prop, he's always very, very. It may just be that he's tired, but he's always he gets smashed easily, and I think that he's just a better runner of the football at second row. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I think I don't know, I just don't want to take that risk with him because I know how powerful he is at second row.
Mm.
Okay, we'll move on to the next team list, which is the Canberra Raiders. Eli, okay, have they made any changes? It's Leon.
so obviously the
Williams,
force change for the bench because Wihu goes to the lock because Jordan Williams got injured.
Yep.
Other than that, I believe everything is the same, and obviously that means that Aaron Leonidas gets promoted to the prop position to start his first game.
I know it's not a big change, but I do like the I can't say his name, but I love him at lock. I do.
Yeah, I agree. I think
it's
it's better lock than prop. Get that. I think he had a bit of an off season last season, but you go back to season 2. He was like the Matt Harris of season 2. He broke so many tackles per game, was just making line breaks left, right, and center. No one ever talked about Matt Harris's dominant season at lock last season, but I think that all started from Tirangi Wihu. I think that's who sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, by the way. I'm bad at pronouncing names, but I think Matt Harris based this season off how Tirangi Wihu went because I think Matt Harris had a much more. I think Matt Harris had a more dominant season, but I think it was very similar to the previous season when T-Rank Wihu had dominated likely. They both dominated. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
I don't even think he had an off season last year. I
don't think it is.
Oh,
maybe it's been light. It's all through the previous season. Maybe that's a better way to put it.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as his season 2 performance, but his season 2 performance was, well, like you said, just spectacular. He was amazing to watch. I think it's like almost a Tomalolo situation where he doesn't get talked up as much because we just expect it to happen.
Yeah, 100%. And I think
I have to agree with you there. If I'm honest, I think they should. When Williams touched from injury, I'd be keeping Tirangi Wihu at lock. To be honest,
I think they're just trying to satisfy Williams because he was promised a lock position.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But look, if it was me, and there's 2 reasons. One reason is that, first of all, I think Wihu's a better lock in general in the past over form. I think he's a better lock in general. Sorry about that, Jordan, if you're watching this, but I think he's a better lock in general. Another reason, though, even if Williams does play lock, which he also had a really good season, to Williams. That was probably his career best season, but we know he's very injury prone. And I don't think throughout his entire career, Tirangi, who's played nearly his entire career at lock, has got injured.
No, he's got injured 3 or 4 times. A few times.
Yeah. Okay, well, I don't remember him ever getting injured, alright? I don't remember him ever getting injured.
He's got injured quite a few. I had to come on in Origin. Point doesn't matter. I had to come on in Origin for him.
He played Origin?
Yeah, he played in Season 1 Origin. I came on the
side. Before the rules were in place, was that when he played?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I was going to say, I didn't think he was eligible.
He's not anymore.
Yeah, okay. Other than that, that's all the changes for this round.
Let's move on to the tips.
Yeah, Manly's.
Did we do Manly? Did Manly even
We haven't
change?
done Manly yet. We haven't. I don't think the Manly
Oh.
changes anyway.
Yeah, Manly's did. Oh no, they changed Prakash.
Yep. Put
Cash and
Cash
Punch, I
at
think,
12 and
swapped.
Also,
Yeah.
they don't know how to number properly. It goes 5, 7, 6.
Ooh.
No, I think I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get me to put. What? Wait, what are they? No, hold on. I think
They think
they
you're
want me to put.
Comish still. They think you're Comish
Yeah,
still.
no, mate. K halfback. I'm pretty sure KCK and Matt Harris, at least one of them watch this per week. You boys didn't do that. I do put them at the right position. I put Bingo 5'8", Will K halfback, don't worry. Unless I made a mistake. I think I've made a mistake once. Maybe. Hopefully not. Hopefully I
I'm
haven't.
pretty sure
Fingers
Dingo
crossed.
played 5'8" last week.
Yeah. Oh, he must. Surely he did play 5'8". Anyways.
I remember seeing a 6 on his. I remember seeing him run out in the 6.
Anyways, yeah, you guys don't need to do that because I am perfectly aware how how the game works, and yeah, I know how you want me to do it.
Okay, let's go to the tips of the week. So the first game, can someone bring that up because I've got
it up. It's actually surprisingly enough. I was talking to someone else about this. It's actually the exact same. It's actually the exact same draw as the Trials games, which is interesting. Not in the same order, but the same exact games. We're starting off with the Eels taking on the Rabbitohs.
Ooh.
What's that for this game?
Bloody hope we win.
Fair enough. I think I'll give my thoughts on it first, since you guys are different. Eels. I can't see why they win, to be honest. I'm looking at it, I was like, I've got to think of some way the Eels can win, but I think if Atchison gets out of dummy half early, starts getting forwards running onto the ball, if Blake Harris, takes out a few errors. He had a few errors last week in terms of attack, but he fixed it up he also got a couple tries. If he takes those small errors he had out, maybe they're a chance, but realistically speaking, unless Rabbitohs just make a ton of errors all game, I don't see why Eels win. Rabbitohs 13+.
Yeah.
And I think the new interchanges rules have really made it good for the injured players, so they can play up to like 60 minutes now. I don't want to give it away, but like I know Jackson Allison's playing a big time on the field. Same with he's not playing as much of a considerable time, but he is playing a fair bit of time spending a fair bit of time on the field compared to what he would have. Those two would have got if the old NHL's rules where it still existed.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting then. The next game we have is the Cowboys v Warriors. I think I did ask you guys for your tip, but I assume you guys are going 13+ with Rabbitohs Eels, right?
Go 1 to 12.
Oh, 1 to 12. Be nice to them. All right. I mean, that's what it was in the first game, but you guys weren't even playing your main side that game, so that's why I'm thinking. Next game we have was Cowboys v Warriors. It's an interesting one.
I think the Cowboys will bounce back this week and in a huge way. But I think, in saying that, the Warriors played really well last week, even though it was against Parramatta. I think they played really well. If Chance Bunce can set his tone on the game, then I think if Chance Bunce can play like he did, anything close to how he did last week, I think the Warriors are a real chance. I'm gonna go with the upset. Warriors 1 to 12.
I was about to say why I think the Warriors are going to win too. I think the Warriors. This is my thoughts. I think the Warriors have a really quality squad. I think they're going to win the win the comp, but they'll get in the top. They'll get in the finals. I understand last time it was a 3rd of the 6th performance. However, the Warriors did not have Mr. Buns at fullback at all that game. He was off the bench. I don't know where he played, but he was off the bench. I think the Warriors. I have a feeling something special is going to happen. I think it's going to be really close. I'm going to say Warriors by 2.
Yeah, I feel that could definitely happen. What's your tip, Butters?
I've forgotten who they're versing.
Warriors v Cowboys.
Warriors v Cowboys. Ooh, I think it could be an upset here after. This one's actually a really tough one. I do really like the Warriors side. I think they've really improved over the past couple of seasons. You've got Chance Bunce, and then Chance Bunce and Jai McCartney. I think they're two really solid players. I think Liam Rogers is still missing out on his potential in the centres, but I don't think that will make much of a difference compared to the Cowboys, who have Al-Matangi and Al-Matangi, Kawal, and Moana, who are a big three in my opinion. So, but I think the Warriors have this. I think it'll be a close game at least. I think it'll be by probably less than 10 points. So I'm going to go Warriors 1-6.
Interesting, we all
Fair
tipped the
enough.
upset there.
We all did tip the upset, which Cowboys deserve the favourite. They've done a lot over the past season, and to be honest, they're probably a really good shot to win. They should go into this game feeling confident, but I don't know what it is about it. I just really like this Warriors side. I really like what Buncey. I really like what their forward pack's doing. You got Barner, Nanai, Strange, Slattery. I really like what their halves are doing. I don't know. I just really like it. I really like the Warriors side. That's one to be upset because I like their side. Anyways, we should I guess we should move on to the next game.
Yep. What's the
The
next
next game taking place in Papua New Guinea is the Manly Seagulls taking on the Brisbane Broncos.
Yikes.
Good luck, mate. Good luck, Brisbane.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Realistically, Manly by how many?
Yeah, look, 13 plus.
I don't know. I don't know how Brisbane win this game.
Yeah. I feel sorry for
Sam
them.
Herman was the one player who gave his all in that loss when they got slaughtered by Manly 58-12. And the funny thing, it was I think it was 52-12 with a good 30 minutes remaining or 20 minutes remaining. They scored one try in the final 20 minutes or something. Manly could have hit 70 in that game. They did. They scored one try after Simon Hunt was sin bin.
Yeah, look. Well, like you said, if Sam Herman was playing, I give them even a slight chance of winning. But with him on the benches, I don't give them.
He's not on the bench. He's just playing 5'8", which
5'8". Sorry, 5'8".
Yeah.
I don't see them winning at all.
I think they need Herman to be fullback, and who knows? They could prove us wrong, and just the players could have an absolute blinding game.
Yeah.
I just don't see how it happens. I'm sorry, I just don't see how it happens.
Mm.
I think Manly could hit 60. We could see our first team hit 60.
I think they'll go very close to 60. I'm tipping them to win 54-12. No, 54-4 actually.
Being generous. Considering Brisbane, both their tries were scored for Herman, who was playing fullback. He's still playing 5'8". He could have a blinder at 5'8". I just don't think he gets enough ball at 5'8". He's stuck to one side of the field. The fullback roams down the back, gets heaps of ball. That's where Herbert needs to be. And I hate hating on the Broncos this much because they get, they got a lot of crap last season and ended up going to fourth place, which was really good considering what they were under all season. But this season, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Brisbane.
And people thought they'd improve this season. I don't know if it happens.
Yeah, to be honest, I think the forward pack's too weak for them to prove they won't. I think Joey Kelly and Luka Marcus are two amazing wingers.
Luka
but
Moscow.
Look, what did I say?
You said Luka
I
Marcus.
think it's the Luka Marcus. Oh my god. I mean Luka Moscow. I think those two are very, very good wingers. Probably two in the top 5 wingers. But they won't get any ball with how weak their forward pack is. It's not a good forward pack, in my opinion. Especially their front rowers. I think their back rowers and locks are pretty decent. Their options there are pretty decent, but their forward pack, Jordan Ford hasn't done much for a couple seasons now. Coda Diab's had glimpses, but that's about all we've seen from him. Samuel Lillard had a very good season. I think season 2 it was, but since then he's been downhill. And then the rest of them haven't done much. Jack Splain hasn't done much since he's been at Brisbane. I don't think. Oh, he had an alright season last season, but again, I think that front row rotation is probably one of the weakest of the clubs. And I think they're not going to get any time to get their ball to the outside backs, which is why I think having good outside backs is going to matter at the moment. It's not going to matter.
Yeah, you need a better forward pack. I do agree with that. Their forward pack is not strong. So
yeah, especially when you look at Manly's forward pack.
Yeah, Manly's forward pack is by far the best in the comp.
And it's just good luck, Brisbane.
That's the next game?
Raiders v Penrith. I'll let
yeah.
you boys draw us here. That sounds wrong. I'll let you boys drill me on why Penrith are going to lose this game. I'll hear it. I'll take it all.
Alright, I think Raiders had a pretty good game last week. Barnes, I honestly wasn't as impressed as most of people were. I still think Canberra didn't really show me that much. I honestly could see Penrith winning this game. I don't know. I just have a feeling Penrith are going to win this. Penrith 1-12.
Sure.
Butters, do you want to give your tip?
Pardon?
Do you want to give your tip?
Oh, sorry. Just got back. Who are you?
Penrith Raiders.
Penrith Raiders. Look, and I love you. You know I love you. You know I love Penrith. But, look, I don't see Penrith winning.
This is what I expected. All right. It's okay, Butters. How much do you think? Oh, he's muted again. Oh, okay, he's muted. You good there?
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm just talking to someone. Look, I think it's good. I hope it's 1-12. I hope, but I think it's 13 plus.
Look, this is what I'll say on the matter. Obviously, it's my team. I really want to win. But what I'll say on the matter is that. What was I going to say again? So, what was I going to say again? What I was going to say is, I have noticed the weakness in how to beat Raiders. I've noticed a very big weakness since last time we versed. It was only 2 weeks ago we versed, and we lost pretty heavily. However, I've noticed a pretty big weakness in this Raiders side.
What is it?
And I don't know, you have to find out. I have got to weakness, and I think Penrith are going to win. But just on my bias, I don't want to sound biased. I'm only going to go Penrith by 2. I'm only going to go Penrith by 2. I sound like such an idiot right now, considering we haven't won in how many games, but I think we're going to have a really good chance. I think if we're going to, if we're ever going to cause an upset against one of the big teams, it'll be this week.
Yeah.
I have a feeling.
I'm with you. I also have a feeling Penrith are going to win this.
It's not just a feeling. I have a strategy. Actually, I've actually come up with a game plan this week. I never go in with game plans. I usually just name a team list and then hope for the best, like most teams do. But I've actually come up with a strategy.
Oh.
You just have to wait to see what the strategy is, though.
Hopefully
it works. If it doesn't work, I'm going to have to sit here and explain what my strategy was next week, because I'll be like, so we lost by 30, but this is what I was hoping was going to happen. Hopefully I don't have to sit here and do that. Anyways,
so we lost by 40. My strategy was this, and it didn't work because this.
It didn't work because it just didn't work.
So what's the next game? The last game.
That's it. That's the fun.
Oh,
that was the last game they're at.
I swear that was one.
Is that it, boys? No, we have 4. We went over Eels, Rabbitohs, Cowboys, Warriors, Manly, Broncos, Raiders, Panthers.
Oh
That's
yeah,
it.
that is it. Oh yep. So we should be done with the episode. Thank you all for tuning in to episode 28 of SRL 360, and we'll be back next week with round 2 recap, round 3 preview, and all the good stuff. Until then, we are out. See you all. Peace. And